It's all a sham, everybody.
When I went to the bathroom downstairs, I was like, oh, shite. And then I tried to put lip gloss on. So.
Fluorescent light should be illegal.
It's fake. Well, I'm also choking on my own armpits because I stopped using like any deodorant tested on animals, which is all of them. All the deodorants that work is the. So now I just like have incense sticks that I rub under my armpits.
Jesus.
Should I cut?
Good.
Nope.
No, keep going.
No, this is the content, Eric.
Pretty color.
I wanted to do somebody else did a joke about this, beat me to the punch, but I'm like, I used to think like when they tested like lipstick on beagles, they would put lipstick on beagles' lips and like fuck it.
So many people have said that to me because I've been
like
talking about it.
mascara on their eyelashes.
That's why I have to make it clear. I'm like,
how
no.
do they do it?
They just do a skin test, right? Or
A lot of times they're shaving and they're burning their skin, and then they euthanize them basically, even if they don't need to be like, even if like they could go on and live a life, they euthanize all the tested on animals.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah, that's why I talk about it a lot.
You should.
Oh, that is gross. I don't think I knew that really.
Well,
I knew
also,
it was bad, but I wasn't sure specific.
Yeah, and I just feel like
terrible.
That's like I'm not gonna. I feel like it's a mistake when like people start at like go vegan. I go no. You have to start at something that feels manageable for people.
Yeah.
And I think to like look on a bottle and see if it has the leaping bunny is very manageable. Whereas saying like redo your entire diet that can't be step
that's a big
one.
task. That's a big task.
I really try to make like animal welfare and stuff like approachable for people, accessible.
So if it has what'd you say, the bunny?
So yeah, there's a lot of times on the back of a product there'll be a little bunny. It's called like the leaping bunny, and that is basically a list of cruelty-free hair and beauty products.
Got it.
And Sephora has gotten really good over the years about marking it on all their stuff, like in store. And because I remember years ago, I used to just be the annoying chick who would go in and like ask someone and they would have to personally tell you. But now everything is like marked, and there are plenty of brands that do. A lot of the higher end ones, like, Yves Saint Laurent, stuff like that. That's a lot of French stuff, and that's all going to be tested on animals.
Oh, really?
Most of that stuff.
Glad I don't support.
The really high end is really
I can't
hard.
afford it.
But like, like the former Kat Von D beauty, whoever the hell owns that now, not her.
Oh, she doesn't own it anymore?
No, she said it's a lot of heavily
Sold
racist
out.
things.
Anti-Semitic, right?
A lot. She just said a lot of bad stuff, and then but she doesn't own her brand anymore. But her brand is great. Urban Decay is good. Yeah.
Are you vegetarian, Eleanor?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys.
I don't give a shit. No,
I'm not a full vegetarian
either. Sometimes I'll be like driving by. I'll be like, oh, look how cute the cows are. And my niece, who is vegetarian, will be like, did you enjoy your steak? And I'm like, oh.
I did actually.
Like I'm terrible, but yeah.
No, I think it's just like baby steps and like just knowing a little bit more. I don't think to say everyone stop eating meat right now.
Yeah. Are you guys vegetarian?
I'm almost vegan. I love animals. God, I love animals so much more than people. But my stomach, I just started. There's just about 10 years ago, every time I would eat beef or pork, I would vomit. And I'm like, all right, well, we're done with this. Okay. And then chicken, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I eat it, I'm like, ugh.
You're a
No,
vegetarian?
I'm pescatarian. Again, like I have like I barely can eat any pescatarian fish. So I eat fish. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Pescatarian.
Yeah.
I remember that.
No, I have
heard
like
that in years.
I cannot. I like can't basically eat any carbs really. So like it would be really hard for me. Can't really eat fruit. So I would just be eating literally vegetables. And not even all of them. So we got to do what we got to do. Like things like mussels are really good for my autoimmune disorder. So like mussels, I'm like mussels that I don't think they're living a really full life. I think we can.
They don't have eyes.
I think I think like mussels and stuff like that we can eat. That's okay.
I've never had seafood.
You've never had seafood? What? Wait,
I know.
That's wild.
Have you had tuna fish? You've had to have tuna fish.
I think once or twice. I don't.
Why?
What's going on here?
I just not. I don't like
seafood
the smell.
did to you? Oh,
I'm a smell
not all
person.
seafood. Oh, if you've go to like a gourmet restaurant and get scallops. Holy shit! I was somebody that like a clam. I can't. It's clams and mussels. I will vomit looking at them. It's
Yeah.
But scallops. Oh my! It's the best thing I've ever had.
They don't smell fishy, but the thing is, they on the tongue,
Tastes
they
like gummy bears
they
or something.
taste fishy.
The consistency's weird, and I'm a big consistency gal.
yeah, it's a little chewy.
Yeah. But it's. ugh. I
Good.
you know, the first time I
with my
ever.
carbs. I don't mind being the fat, funny friend.
You're not fat.
No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. Like it's
like, you gotta
but it
gain weight,
catches
girl.
up. It catches up.
Well,
Like,
also
you know
people
what I
whose
mean?
bodies work normally can eat carbs. Like it's not normal.
Right.
Like there's something wrong. I'm broken. There's something
We're
wrong
all a
with
little
me.
broken, but
Yeah.
yes.
What's your
I get
broken?
that. I'm just born. I was
Yeah.
born broken.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 8 out of 10
That's
kids.
the spirit.
So,
Oh,
8 out of 10.
yeah. So you just,
So just no attention on you?
I guess that's what it is.
That's why you're a comedian. I mean,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, I talk to myself a lot.
Me
so-
too.
Me too. I talk to
I
myself
see
all the time.
people do it more.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
I'm
it.
pro it.
I don't even try to hide it anymore. And then
Nobody
and
does,
I'll
I
be
think.
like, don't even, don't look for AirPods because they don't exist.
Yeah.
And I have full conversations with my
versus me.
dog, like all the time.
Yeah, that's why
Oh
I give
no,
her-
but at least a dog is there. That's somebody.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like
I'm there.
people walking
Yeah.
by themselves.
Yeah.
Just this guy the other day, he was just, he was in a, and this is a
gotta
normal
rehearse.
person. He was like running a restaurant
Yeah.
or something. And then he just was outside talking to himself, then went back. Like he had the conversation
Yeah.
he needed to have
Well, we're going
with
so
somebody.
We're going
He took
so
a moment.
fast.
Oh, it made me laugh so hard.
Sometimes you can't think of the thing to say back to the person until like later, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Well, I'm going to say it out loud anyway."
Or if you try to rehearse something, you're like,
Always.
tonight on stage.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
what
Yeah.
is I'm gonna do that and then this, and then you're like go on stage and none of that happens.
Yeah.
On the way to a set, I'm always doing a full monologue to myself.
Oh yeah. But or I'll relive an embarrassing moment from like 10 years ago.
Why?
Like,
Yes,
I don't
me
know.
too.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Well, I thought you had an answer. I was like, why do we do
It's just your brain going, this is still on the shelf. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna keep it there.
You didn't hide it properly.
No,
You didn't block
I'm
this
very
good enough.
open to being embarrassed. It just happens too much that I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta get used to it.
Yeah, same.
It's a bad feeling, but whatever. It's not going away.
I think it went away kind of early because
For you?
Yeah, because my brothers would embarrass me continuously. Like, just you're growing
How?
up and
you got tits, Eleanor?
Yeah, or like I remember this specifically. My mom, I was very tomboyish. But obviously, growing up with the boys, it was just she had 4 boys in a row and then me. So I was just like,
Jesus.
fuck yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was butch. Like I joke about it that I wanted to transition when I didn't know what the word meant. I just knew I wanted to be a boy.
Oh.
It's so
and
funny.
I hated being a girl.
A product of your environment. It's like
Totally.
nature versus nurture. I grew up with a brother and a dad who loved cars, and I'm obsessed with cars. I'm like
Right.
sexually attracted to muscle cars.
Agree.
But I learned it from them. If I didn't
Sure.
grow up with them, I wouldn't give a shit probably.
No, you wouldn't even look at them.
Yeah,
Whatever. Like,
right.
but like simple things like girl stuff, Barbies, things like that. I don't remember it. Like if we had them, they rip their heads off and we color them in and use them to scare people. Like just bizarre.
So they tried
shit.
to turn against you, and you joined them so
Yeah,
that
I
you
was just
couldn't
like,
be
you can't
beat.
beat them, join them. Yeah,
That's
and then
great.
I had a little brother and a little sister, but she was just thrown in with the boys as well.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's not as like sports oriented as I am. Like I could only watch sports. Like I watched what they watched. I watched basketball all day. I
Yeah.
watched football all day. Like my little sister's like, I don't give a shit about that. But
Wow.
She was just like, I don't care. I can't believe I'm born into this bullshit.
She got the least amount
Yeah,
of
yeah.
attention, right? Probably, or the least amount of
no, we spoiled
helicopter.
Her. We spoiled her because
nice.
also the older half had to take care of the younger half.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like mini parents.
Yeah, so like my sister Kathleen would always be like, "Well, I raised Edie." I'm like, "That's hilarious," and my mom's like, "I'm right here, bitch."
Yeah.
Like, what are you saying? But it was they always had her because it was like cool to have a baby.
Yeah.
And
She's cute.
Yeah. Like, oh, look at my little sister. Look how cute she is.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
it's
they're
like a
"There's
Paris
still
Hilton's
kids?"
Chihuahua. Yeah, exactly.
The best. My absolute favorite.
Was your mom stressed out with that many kids?
A little. Yeah, especially since my dad left.
Oh, that was a one parent household?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
He
Where did your
left when
dad
I was
go?
like 8. He only moved a couple blocks away, but he's just kind of an ass. that
Did he
way.
send money at least?
No.
What?
What a cunt.
For about I want to say it lasted almost a year. He would give her $110, which is $10 a kid plus $10 for her a week.
Gee, thanks,
And
mister.
then he would take us out for pizza on Thursdays or like McDonald's or something. But it didn't last a full year because we were like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
So you stopped hanging out with him, or did he move away?
No, he just stayed right there. We had to work for him, and he owned a typewriter store. Boy, the hits
cute.
just keep coming.
That's
the
cute.
mental illnesses.
A typewriter store. Wow. Okay. I love this.
Yeah, he had a typewriter store in South Philly on 20th and Porter, and we had to work there, but there was no business. Like, it was dying then.
Yeah.
So we would like come up with different ways to fall asleep, so we would have like paper towels and shit.
Yeah.
But it was like a real workshop. You know what I mean? Like, we called it the
Repair.
shop. We repaired typewriters, and it was nasty in there, and it was.
You need oil and stuff. Like, it's like,
it was
very
gross.
greasy.
He would make us spool the ribbons so our fingers were black for a while,
Wow.
but
Was he
would
mean?
leave. Huh?
Was he like mean? Like, how's his demeanor?
He was hit or miss, because he was crazy. He was a Marine, so he was very discipline oriented, and he hit us a lot. He hit the boys worse. He always says to me, "Did I hit you, girl?" He doesn't call us by our names. It's boy or girl.
Oh, okay. He probably forgets with all the
think
kids.
so, too.
Honestly.
I did become California girl, so I'm like, he noticed.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't say our names ever, except my sister Karen. That's the only one he
Is that
likes.
his favorite?
I think.
Okay.
She's the first girl.
I was going to be like,
Second
is she the
child,
hottest?
first girl. Yeah, and she is. She is the
Biggest
hottest,
tits
that
of the
bitch.
family.
No, that's
that
the
sucks.
baby. She got all tit.
Oh, that's
She's all tit.
damn.
Big top Edie. That's what we call her.
I love the nicknames in your family.
Oh yeah, we torment each other. That's what I mean with the embarrassment. Like, we just would throw each other under the bus. But me and Billy are very close, like Irish twins, and so he would tell, "Oh, my sister has a crush on you," and then I'd come like running up with a football all dirty, like, "What? Why can I play?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna tackle him. That's how I'm gonna get close to him."
Yeah, that's it, Eleanor.
But the boys were like, "What? I can't. I don't like you." The one kid I had a crush on, this kid Albert, I was obsessed with him, and he had a problem with this kid on a football team. There was St. Monica's football team. And so he goes, I'm going to go talk to him. I go, yeah, let's go fucking talk to him, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, this is a relationship,
Right.
Avi.
Yeah.
And we wound up beating up the whole football team. And I'm like, we're
Good for
definitely
you.
dating now,
Yeah,
right?
okay, but there is something
That's like
to
eighth
fighting
base.
someone
Yeah.
together that does bond a couple.
He never liked me though. He just thought I was crazy. He's like, you have feelings for me? And then our friendship ended.
Damn.
Wait, how'd you beat up a whole football team?
Real easy. They were pussies.
Were you taller than them?
I was always tall. Yeah. I'm like 5'8", but I grew up in South Philly, so that's gigantic over there.
Right.
Is everyone
That's awesome.
small in South
Italian,
Philly?
little Italian.
Yeah, little
right,
tiny
right.
guys.
Italian.
And he was Albert. He was smaller than me. So I was.
I was like, 5'8" is like first model height. That's like the shortest you can be as a model. You made it.
I tried.
Yeah, you and Kate Moss, baby.
I'm always so
I tried
interested
to be
in
a
like
hot
that.
topic.
That F is for. Have you ever seen F is for Family? Bill Burr's cartoon.
Yeah.
So I love
thought
that
it was
show
great.
because it reminds me of my dad. My dad was military, got drafted.
Crazy.
Very and
drafted,
temper
huh?
of a when he was 18, temper, really bad temper, but very disciplined, but also like so distant, so
Yeah.
emotionally distant. I'm like, that kind of dad just fascinates me. Like, did you ever get to know? Is your dad still around?
Oh, no. I'm very close to my dad. Like,
you
I
are?
stayed close. My dad's still around. He's 88.
Oh, nice.
I talked to him on the way here. I
That's
just had to
great.
check in on him because he gives me, I need the material. So
Absolutely.
I call him.
Like, be like, I'm down $10, Dad. Can you
Yeah.
help?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. He goes, I hope you're making money, girl. I'm like, yeah, Dad, we figured it out. Thanks for
Right.
helping.
Yeah.
But I don't, I remember, this is a testament to my mom. I remember, he would call. It was like when he first left. So again, I'm like 8. Not, like, we're wild. We were wild. And my mom had to figure it out and get 50 jobs and so we were in the streets, if you will, especially the bottom half. Then the older half would catch us and beat us up, but whatever. Well, so I was on the phone with him and we're talking. He's like, what are you doing, girl? Trying to be the dad thing, whatever. And then I said, okay, whatever he was talking to me about, maybe it was a birthday or something. And I hung up and I rolled my eyes and my mom was like, don't do that. That's your father.
Wow.
And I was like, this fucking asshole left. This house is a zoo.
We
bitch.
respect mean men here. Yeah.
But she was like, no, don't do that. You're doing it for me. And you have to have your own relationship with him. So,
Oh, that's very healthy.
Yeah. So she didn't ever say, oh, your father this or your father. You know what I mean?
That's nice.
She just was like, okay, I have to get a job, a real job, and I have to figure it out. So she did. She was a secretary for the Philadelphia Navy shipyard.
Oh, wow.
And then she worked for the Phillies and the Eagles as a beer girl for years.
Oh, shit. Philly royalty.
And then, I know. And then she worked for Strawbridge's. I'm going way back.
Wow. 2 and 5,
It's
baby.
like it's like Wanamaker or whatever. No, she worked for Wanamaker's as well. Like
What's
she would
Wanamaker's?
switch. It's the same. It's like Macy's,
Yeah.
whatever. But John Wanamaker's was in Center City.
Yeah.
And Strawbridge's was right next to it.
Nice.
So she would go to both. And one time she was just like reading a book because she was bored. And this guy came over and he's like, can you put the book under the thing? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, okay, yeah, okay. And she just put it away. He goes, thank you. And she goes, what's your name? And he's like, Mr. Wanamaker. And she's like,
well, sorry.
excuse me, motherfucker.
That's like the time out.
Just trying to read.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Get some customers, fucker.
So your mother was stable.
Yeah.
Seemed pretty stable, like mentally good.
Seemingly. Like, it's incredible because I think she held it together so long. And now she's like 86. And she all of a sudden, like, she's like, I don't want to get up. I don't, like, she's depressed.
Oh.
I really believe she held it in.
And now it's
Yes.
free.
Cascading.
Okay.
It's been the past like 2-3 years.
Wow.
A lesson in repression.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my older sister passed away and she
so
got
sorry.
like a little depressed. Thank you. But she got like depressed a little bit after that.
Yeah.
And then she was young enough to like still like do stuff. So she would get out more and then she got over it. Like it was good. And then all of a sudden this last 3 years.
She's like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Is it like you think it's like mortality? I feel like sometimes people have a really tough relationship with this looming
keeps
mortality.
Praying to go.
die.
She
Oh,
wants
okay,
to
that's
die.
different.
Got it.
All
Yeah,
right.
so that's classic
She's like,
depression.
please. I know. Exactly.
Classic.
I'm like, hello, this is 101, bitch.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do this
yeah.
all day.
But when you're 86,
Welcome
I
aboard.
think maybe like hoping to die is doesn't have to be depression. It can just be like, we're
This
good.
is time.
Yeah.
I would do drugs, hard drugs.
That's my goal.
Why not?
That's your goal.
Listen, I don't want to.
Mine too.
I don't want to make it to 60. I'm good with going out.
Are you
before
serious?
that.
So young.
60's young.
I'm good.
I just met Yakov Smirnoff, who's
Oh, the
73.
best. Yakov's a great guy, though.
He was like oddly hot. And he, like,
By the way,
he had
you're
a
the
sh-
second
I got some
person
hot
that told
texts
me
about
this.
Yakov.
he has an energy about him that
He's
is like
unbelievable.
What is this? I'm like 73. I'm like, you make me excited to be in my 70s. He was
Yeah.
vibrant. He was present. He was more present than most people I know in their 50s and 60s. I'm like,
He's
Yeah.
a man. So.
yeah, it's true.
Russian. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Russian. He just comes from a different background, but he's a hard worker. He'll build
Yeah.
you a house.
Yeah.
You're the
Ooh.
second person that told me about Yakov.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Yakov.
I love
I've known
him.
Was
him
someone
for
else
years.
horny for him?
No, just saying what an inspiration.
Yeah.
It was a guy. He wasn't too horny for him, but Ian.
Finance?
Yeah.
Oh, well, so
yeah,
he
'cause
might have
it's
been
hell,
horny
yeah.
for him,
Yeah, he
actually.
might have.
You might
He might
be
have.
right.
Classic
you know what?
bi guy.
Weird. That's weird. I forgot.
So greedy.
But always trying to get our shit. And no, but he was just saying how he met him and he was such an inspiration.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, because he's still in Branson, right? He would come
He's
back
in Branson.
to LA
He owns
a
a
little bit.
3,000-seat theater in Branson. And
He owns a theater.
and the community is
guy's
really lovely.
amazing.
They're a little like it's Bible Belts where he lives, and so he's like because he's starting a new podcast called On the Couch, I think, with Yakov, I believe. And
Good for him.
He's an incredible interviewer. We've done podcasts for 10 years. Like we've done thousands of podcasts. When someone interviews you
Like, for
and
real.
really does their
Yeah.
research and sits down and thinks of like really formulated, thoughtful questions, you're like blown away. 'cause
Oh,
it's
he touched
so
your
rare.
soul.
He
Yeah.
did. He
Yeah.
touched my
I
soul.
love that.
And he was like, my first marriage had ended and I was so perplexed how there was so much laughter in the beginning. And then, the years went past, there was just the laughter just completely went away. And I was determined to understand that. So I got a degree in psychology. And I'm like,
Wow.
you're a smart motherfucker.
Wow.
That's my kind of man.
Yeah, that's a man.
That's
Wow.
a man. Get your education.
Get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him. He built half the Comedy Store. Like,
Right.
he lived in Mitzi had a house called Crest
Right.
Hill, and a lot of comics lived in there. And his roommate was Dice, Anthony
Yeah.
Dice Clay.
And he babysat Pauly.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course. So
Yeah.
he was like raised at the Comedy Store technically. Like he moved from Russia to there, and then all the furniture is like Yakov.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did everything.
Yeah.
Because that's how he got in. He would do anything
Interior
for Mitzi.
design, yeah.
Yeah. And
So
he was incredible, though.
Yeah, he's amazing. But at 73, he's crushing it.
Yeah.
He's a whole vibe. So I'm curious why 60.
Oh, I don't know. And I shouldn't, that's terrible. You're right. Because now I'm thinking of Dice is 66. And he's another one who's just like running around the streets, still being silly, still goofy. We still go on the road, like he's very vibrant.
Yeah, no, I bought tickets a couple years ago when he was doing those smaller engagements at the stand. Like, 'cause I just wanted to watch it as an audience member, not as a comic. I wanted to be seated at a table, not stand in the back. So I just went with my other comedy friend. And because I was so interested, especially because Andrew Dice Clay has such a specific act. And I go, how is he going to do what he does in modern times? And I was blown away how he was able, because some comics really struggle with like catching up with the times.
Sure.
And
especially if you're hot in that.
Exactly. Like he just did it seamlessly. I was like, holy shit. Like I was really blown away that he was able to still be him, and make it so that a younger person wouldn't be like horrified and blog about him, but not giving up your essence.
They still get a little offended, but it's more Andrew meets Dice.
Yeah.
Either the Andrew, the person
meets the character that he created.
So it's like he's grown and he never stopped performing. Even, he had full custody of his boys. He's like a strong dad. That's my second ex-fiance. So I know a lot about him.
Mm-hmm. Dice?
Yeah.
Oh shit, you were engaged to Dice?
Yeah.
I always wondered.
Make a lot of mistakes.
I always wondered if you guys were romantically involved or not.
No, he's my best friend.
Well, because
I always joke that he's second. And he's like, bitch. I'm like, fuck you. But yeah. So I feel like I know too much about him. But at the same time, it's like, we've been working together too since we've been split up.
Yeah.
Like he's been married and now has an amazing girlfriend who I hooked him up with. So we're very, very close.
That's so healthy.
Was there a time in between though? Like you said, you worked right after you split up. Did you have a grieving period?
I had a grieving period because unfortunately I was going through stuff. So I was the one who ruined the relationship, if that makes sense.
Were you my best friend?
Yeah, my best friend passed away. So I was just like,
so much death in your life.
I know. I did the same thing. My dad died a couple of years ago, and I was like, I went nuts and like I broke up with someone, but like it's really hard. I don't know how people handle intense grief while being in a relationship, and I know like that's the time when like your partner should be able to support you, but it depends at what point you are at in the relationship.
Agreed.
And
sometimes you just want to be a maniac by yourself at home.
Yeah.
Right? And also, this was a guy friend who was my best friend. We were never, ever romantically involved. He was just,
your best friend.
Sometimes I just migrate to guys. And like Mitzi Shore, the owner of the Comedy Store, Freddie worked, his name was Freddie Soto, and Freddie worked for Mitzi for years, and she goes, oh, Freddie's great. He's got the heart of a woman. And I'm like, so maybe that was it. Like he was in the male body, but he had this like, feminine heart, whatever. Yeah. And so we all loved, we were very close. And when he unfortunately passed away, he was 35.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
sudden and unexpected, obviously.
Yeah, it was whatever. It was the third time he fell off the wagon. I hate to say it like that, but his body, he had abused it so much that his liver shut down.
Yeah.
And it was...
Part of this job is our colleagues will pass away from drug addiction, unfortunately.
Yep. And so it was it was ruled as an accidental overdose, which I think was pretty accurate, but it sucks because what he had in his system, most people have on a Tuesday.
Wow.
But his body had been through so much because he did it in grade school and high school. It was his third bout with it, if you will. And then his body it was already broken down.
Fuck, man.
So when we did his memorial at the Comedy Store, I think almost 1,000 people showed up. Like we had people in the street. That's how, you know what I mean? That's the kind of person he was. Yeah. So, and then when I first started dating Andrew, I'm like, hey, don't get weird, but you got to accept Freddie.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he's your best friend.
Yeah, but Andrew's old school. And girls don't have
Why are you talking
boyfriends.
To a dude? Yeah.
Like guy friends, right? And so
you gotta learn.
And I'm like, dude, look, you met my brothers.
That heart, Dice.
Yeah, you met my brothers. You know I'm a whack, and he did. He accepted them. But then and he loved them, and his kids loved him, and we were all very close. And his wife was very close with us. Like he was married, so. and they had a daughter. She used to come to all the stuff. But when he passed away, it just, I guess I was like, you fought me on him. You know what I mean? Like,
You got to put something somewhere.
every weird, emotion. And so I would kind of like push myself away from him. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm cool. Like, I accepted him, but in my brain, I was like, you didn't want me for that moment. And then and then after a while, like, I was like, what are you doing? And then my grandma passed away. And then I just was done. Wow. I was a mess.
Yeah, I also feel like there is this like it's nice to want to take personal responsibility because that's not a thing anymore. But like I wouldn't even like. I feel like sometimes we can like blame ourselves too much for this. And I feel like the partner who is right for you will figure out a way to get through.
I will say he tried. He
did. Can you tell me how he tried?
We did a whole year after, you know, and I would they would just be like, hey, you want to do that? Trying to, because again, he's got full custody of his kids. I'm with him 5 years, helped raise him, you know, all that. So we're all very close. And he's like, let's try this. Let's do this. Let's go ice skating. Like, I went home for Christmas and I was like, I'm just going to go home for Christmas. You guys stay in LA. And he's like, okay. And he let me go. And then he showed up in Philly for Christmas. And my mother was like, we were in church and she's like, Andrew is here. Like, he just showed up, like things like that.
The door in the middle of the ceremony.
Like
he tried different tactics.
That's pretty sweet.
I will say.
That's sweeter than I imagined he would be.
And that's why I think we're still like close friends because we were such good friends before we started dating.
Yeah.
And then we were both at like a weird point in our lives. He was going through a divorce. I was just, trying to be an actress. Nothing was working. And then, after Freddie passed, a year and a half later, me and Andrew are still friends, whatever, hanging out, but not crazy hanging out. And then I started doing stand-up. So I started late.
So you didn't do stand-up when you started dating Dice?
Nope.
Whoa. That happens so often.
That does happen often.
And I love it because it's just like women just watching men like, I could fucking do that.
Well,
I like that.
And then
Also,
just skyrocketing.
I love that.
That's amazing. I oddly was a waitress at the Comedy Store for 12 years.
Oh, so you knew the rhythm, you knew the punchline, you knew how
it's
to do
so like just being around that energy. Like I feel like it's like you gotta try.
How old were you when you started being a waitress at the Comedy Store?
21.
Okay, so how
20,
was it
baby,
so fun to be like a 21-year-old woman? Like,
No, it was awful.
Oh, really?
Those comics are animals.
Yeah.
How
well,
so?
To this day, the way people, a lot of the comics cheat waitresses is like, Jesus Christ.
I was at the Comedy Cellar on New Year's Eve, and it was a comic that did this.
I heard about this.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Everybody heard about this. He kept grabbing my tit. Like, he kept like getting photos. And at first I was like, is he grabbing my tit? And I was like, no, he's not grabbing. I didn't know the guy, and he was really wasted. So I was like, okay, maybe this is out of character. And then he got kicked out right away. But my immediate, and he's banned from the cellar. But I'm like, wow, how much progress we have made, because how were you treated when you were a 21-year-old waitress?
You come in like, they just see the youth, right?
Yeah.
And these are, I don't want to call them predators, but they're close and borderline.
Diet
but
predators.
There was comics, older comics that would walk up and be like, we're gonna fuck.
Ew.
And I go, but the problem is there might be somebody moved from the Midwest might go, I'm from South Philly. I'm like, I'll cut your fucking throat.
Right.
Exactly.
You shitting me?
I got brass knuckles, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, are you crazy?
Yo,
and then
Philly?
they immediately were like, oh, she's a little nutty. She's.
Oh, I thought they would have gotten her an erection knowing comics.
But because I would call them out like, you believe this fucking guy just said, like,
and then they quit their shit.
They never bothered
me. That's nice. Yeah,
they never. It all got. There was one guy I had a crush on, hard when I got there. Hard. I was
comic.
Like, yeah. And he doesn't do it anymore, but he doesn't do stand-up anymore. It's not my fault, but he doesn't do stand-up.
You don't know that.
But he was with somebody. And we had that connection, that kind of fucked up thing.
Of course I do.
So then they broke up, and she was gorgeous, this girl. She was like
excited.
Pocahontas. Like,
Ooh,
so I was like, he'll
so
never
hot.
go for me. I'm like a troll comparative to this girl. And then when they broke up, I was engaged to my first ex-fiance. And he's like, fuck.
Was your first ex-fiance also a comic?
No, booking agent.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Making the rounds in the
I was
business.
out of the business. I knew comics too well. I'm like, going for the boss.
Yeah, that's smart.
So you've been engaged a bunch.
Yeah, I'm a mess.
No, but then what's like you
Not a
ended it
closer.
before
I'm not a closer.
But you saved a lot of money.
Yes.
Because a wedding, I've known people that have had destination weddings and then they get divorced 3 years later, and I'm like, that sucks.
The destination was nowhere.
Honestly, I'd stay together. I'd stay together because I wouldn't want people to know that they just spent $1,000 to fly to my wedding for me to get divorced.
My friends getting divorced or just whatever. They're separated. They're going through the divorce. So much fucking paperwork.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I went to her wedding, and this girl grew up in Manhattan, Roosevelt Island, Manhattan-ish,
Oh, wow.
back and forth. So she watched you guys. She's like, I'm obsessed with them.
Oh, that's nice.
So she was a waitress with me when we were at the store in the early 90s. And she got married, and she was this wild girl that I met. When she got married, she made me her maid of honor, but she had to have a real maid of honor. So there was two of us because I don't do girl shit. I'm not good.
Like
So she
planning
had
and stuff.
a planner, and I was just there to get her down the aisle.
Sure.
Emotional support. But the two of us knew so much about each other. And then I gave a speech, and her mom was like, I thought you would go longer. I go, I can't say 90% of the things.
Yeah.
So, because she was wild, right? And now she's going through a divorce. But I remember her gown was like, I don't know, $10,000. It was insane.
Yeah.
I think she spent like 90 grand. It was in LA. And I remember her being on the balcony going, where the fuck are the charger plates? I'm like, what is a charger plate?
Right. It's
I
like
never
instead
even
of a
heard of
placemat.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They sell them at Pier 1.
she married a guy
rich
who
guy.
had money, and that she just,
Did she get? Well, she's going through the
they're
divorce
going
now,
through
so
it.
hopefully
But
she get that paper.
hopefully, yeah.
She go
And
back
they're
to being
both
wild.
great, whatever. I just feel terrible that it happened, but it was funny. Like, who the fuck are you? Charger plate. You were doing coke in the light booth. What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Funny. Have you ever been married? Have you ever had a marriage?
No.
Okay, that kind of sounds nice though. You get like the thrill of the engagement.
Yeah.
You get to tell people, and then you get
You're
to
like,
like
I'm engaged. You
experience
get to
it.
pick bridesmaids for
Yeah.
a second. The first one, I picked all these bridesmaids, and my mom goes, what about your sisters? I'm like, oh yeah, I love them too.
That's not exactly first dibs.
That's what I was thinking. And then the second one, I was like, oh, okay, I'll have my sister. Because it was like later. Now
Yeah.
you're in your 30s. You're like, oh shit, okay. But Billy was like
I'm
in
a
my
geriatric
20s.
bride.
Yeah. Limping down the aisle.
Yeah.
And so I was, but then the third guy, we almost got married in Vegas.
Wow.
But-
Wait, 3? You've had 3?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So so we know why the Dice engagement ended. Why did the other two engagements end?
The first one,
And this is booking agent, first one?
yes.
Okay.
And he was like, literally broke my heart in a billion pieces.
Oh.
So he's,
How? To cheat?
no, well, kind of, but with drugs. Like
that hurts.
He just went away, like almost like you lost somebody.
Yeah,
Like
that's
he
the
died,
worst
but he's still there.
mistress.
Yeah.
So, and it's
terrible.
weird because when I took him to Betty Ford, like people go, you ever go to Palm Springs? I'm like, yeah, for drop off and pickup. And that's it. For a while, I was dating guys and I'm like, hey, Betty Ford, person or place? What do you got? Like, because it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I took him to 3 different places. Betty Ford was the final one, but he got out of there and started shooting up.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I know. It was insane.
Is he
Luckily,
alive?
he's okay, and he's with somebody, and they have a kid.
Wow.
But he got somebody pregnant.
At the Betty Four?
No, before, was it before? It was after that. We got him out, and there's a guy at the Comedy Store that's like basically the guy who helps everybody get sober.
Oh man.
Like
nice.
Mitzi the owner of the store used to do it for all the comics.
Yeah.
She put him in rehab. She paid for it.
Yeah.
She did it to a lot of comics. She did it for this specific guy
Oh,
named
wow.
Argus Hamilton.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a staple.
Yeah.
And so Argus now helps other people. He's been doing it for years. And so I called Argus because he was the only person. I'm like,
Sure.
He goes, tell me what's in the room. I told him. He goes, you got to leave. You're never going to see that person again. And he goes, he's gone too
It was
far.
too far, yeah.
You'll never get him back. You'll never get the same person. And I was like, he goes, just get all your stuff and get out. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Did you tell? What was that conversation like? Like you're talking to a wall, essentially.
But at that point, he was shooting up. So he was so high.
He was just doing the lean. You didn't want to ruin it for him.
He was like, it was Speedballs or something. When I told Argus what it was, it's a mix, I think, of stuff. And there was a guy in the living room. See, he had told me he goes, I'm living with this guy from Betty Ford, so we're going to help each other.
Yeah.
So I go, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Fucking naive, 25, right? 24. I'm like, that's amazing, you know?
Men helping men.
So cool.
Get drugs.
You're really going to help each other. That's good. But I had people that were sober and they had sober companions. So in my brain, I was like, that works.
Yeah.
That guy taught him how to they got so good at doing different drugs in Betty Ford.
In Betty Ford?
Yeah, because they started telling each other how they do it. Then they just behave for 30 days or whatever it was, get out, meet up on the outside. And then I remember seeing notes around the house, like if so-and-so calls, say I'm at a meeting, this one
Jesus Christ.
meeting.
That's too much. That's too much.
By the way, this guy had Hollywood in the palm of his hands.
Are you kidding me?
So he gave it all up.
All up.
Oh, God.
Unbelievable. It was still like,
fall from grace.
yeah. And so when so the guy in the living room, when I saw how my fiance was like just fucking zoned out, I go, "What'd you do? What did you guys take?" And the guy like, "What?" And I go, "What the fuck?" And again, a hood rat, I lose it. I get a baseball bat and I'm fucking swinging at this guy.
That's Philly.
I'm like, "Get out,
Philly.
you motherfucker." I'm losing it. I'm crazy. And so and this poor guy's like running his high. He's like, "Oh no." It ruined his eye. I just remember him flying down the steps. I don't think he touched any of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like
You're
swinging
responsible
at
for
him.
fucking up my fiance.
Yeah, and
I mean,
I'm like, get the fuck out, don't ever come back, you know? And I think I put a hole in the wall because I just blacked out.
Yeah.
And then I went back, and that's when I called Arias, and he's like, you gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
And you just left.
Yeah, I left, and
Did he call you? Like, when was the last?
Oh, a
next time
million
you
times. I had 170. It was a beeper at that time.
Yeah,
170 messages, and it went from where'd you go? I love you. I did, and then it would go from I fucking hate you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your whole family. I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Right.
You know, like we'll kill you first.
Yeah.
I know my family.
Philly bitch. Yeah. Wow.
You're from Mount Vernon.
Damn.
Pussy ass bitch.
Yeah, and he's unbelievable. Like he repped comics and he got fired. He used to work at William Morris as like an assistant.
Yeah.
He got fired from there for catering to his black clients. They told him there's no money in black comedy. And he's like,
Jesus Christ.
what the fuck are you saying?
Worst
Are
thing
you
ever
kidding me?
said because it's so inaccurate.
Yeah.
It's so completely
racist.
inaccurate, but also this is the 90s, late 80s, 90s. This happened to him, right? So he goes, fuck you. I'm going to prove that there is, because he got pissed off.
Yeah.
And his brother's a huge entertainment lawyer, and he got him in that job. So now his only thing, he flips out on the guy, quits, and took all his clients with him.
Oh, wow.
But only thing he was worried about is his brother being mad at him because he's like, he got me the job. Meanwhile, he goes, they're fucking racist. Fuck them, right?
Yeah.
So he took all his clients. They were Martin Lawrence,
Whoa.
Chris Rock,
Okay.
Adele Givens, Joe Torre.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they started
Heavy
Def
hitters.
Jam.
I was gonna say,
Tommy
was
Davidson.
Was Comedy
holy
Def Jam
shit.
around yet? Or did he start it?
No, they started it
Jesus,
together.
that's a
Yeah, because
staple.
Martin was the host.
Fuck.
So he repped all these guys. Monteria Ivy, who did all the Yo Mama jokes, Yo Mama books.
Yeah.
All these, and so they all left. Billy was working out of a garage.
Wow.
And he built it
He
back
built this
up.
beautiful thing.
Yeah,
That's
he
crazy.
built it
That's so
big
cool.
that William Morris bought his company back.
Ah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So sick.
Sweet justice.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
sweet justice.
And then he fell into the addiction.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
I know. We all still go, like all the like Martin, Chris that we talk about, like,
Damn. Yeah.
because he had it. He was so good. He was so good. But one of his clients had pure cut cocaine. That's how it started.
Oh.
He
Okay.
did it recreationally.
Oh.
And his client brought over, I don't know, it's none of my business, but he brought cocaine to the house.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of other stuff going on. But he was like, oh, you want to try some? And Billy's like, yeah, I do Coke, once in a while.
Right.
Sure.
He doesn't cut
So
it.
it's usually cut with
Yeah.
another like Tylenol or like baby aspirin or something like that. Right.
So anything on the streets is cut with hopefully not fentanyl, but a lot
Right.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And even fentanyl to a degree isn't super harmful, but it's still something cutting it.
More than 2 crumbs and you're done. Yeah.
And so at least it's cut, but the pure cut, you can't get that high. You can't ever get that. You can't get that good of a high again.
Without pure cut or
yeah.
without the
So
first time.
once you've tasted
So
it,
once,
you're like,
and that was it.
Yeah.
Because he did it recreationally for years.
damn.
No big
Right,
deal.
right.
Yeah, every 2 years, whatever you want to call
Jesus.
it. Every year, once a year, like, hey, let's do that.
And that
as a
fucks with
joke.
your demeanor, right? Like cocaine, I can usually tell when somebody's on cocaine, they're an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like mean. And I'm like, how are you having fun? No one around you's having fun.
He was more of a like a con person because he went through all his money.
With
and
the
then
Coke.
it was just
That business
how can
mind,
I,
yeah.
how he
Yeah.
wasn't mean. He was never mean.
right.
I mean, he
was
got mean with
strategizing.
me because, I wasn't returning his calls. So he's yelling.
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah.
it wasn't like he would be mean to like people would meet him and be like, he's great. But he
Yeah.
got this girl pregnant and then they both got arrested for drugs. This was after Betty Ford. And she had to have the baby in jail.
what?
And then his sister adopted the baby.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
And he's
they were like,
alive.
he needs to be sober. Yeah. And then
And
he
he's
has
alive.
another daughter. Yeah.
And with a partner, and he's wow.
And he's doing well, luckily.
Wow.
And his
Oh,
sister still has
okay.
that child.
Yes. Wow.
Whoa.
That's impressive.
The sister knows, though. Obviously, she's not finding out on this podcast.
No. They
kid always knew that.
Yeah,
They helped me do an intervention on him. They
This
helped me
is
do a bunch
fascinating.
of
Ooh,
stuff.
an intervention. What's that? I've never been a part of an intervention.
Scary and amazing, especially when you're doing it at the top of the hill in Beverly Hills.
Oh,
and you
how
have no
fancy.
business being there. You pull up in your Toyota Tercel.
You're like Kristen Wiig and
Just
Bridesmaids.
pushing it. That's how I felt. Every time I see her in that, I go, oh my God, that's so me. Every time. Because also when we took him to Betty Ford, we took him and his brother is a big entertainment lawyer. And Michael Jackson was one of his clients.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So he got some money.
Yeah, so he gave him a Corniche as it's a Rolls Royce. It's a higher end. Corniche
Whoa,
is
I've
like
never even
top
heard
of the
of that.
line.
I love
yeah.
it. Ugh, I
he gave it
love-
to him as a gift.
Oh.
So we took that Corniche to Betty Ford. And so me and Billy were in the back seat. We had sex in the bathroom on the way there. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. I think of that dirty bathroom all the time.
Wait, which bathroom?
On the way to Palm Springs, we at a rest stop.
Wow. Well, you got to get it in one last time, I guess.
We were good at outside.
Was he high on his way there?
He said he wasn't, but
Yeah,
I
who knows,
don't.
who knows?
At that, he wasn't shooting up at that point, so I
Okay.
couldn't tell. It was, it was
Yeah.
hard to tell, and he was able to get it up. So I'm assuming
Yeah.
he wasn't.
You can
Oh,
still
you
get it
can't.
up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Coke a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I remember that, and then as we're getting closer, I wasn't going to make it back for my shift at the Comedy Store, so I had to use the phone in the Corniche to call and be like,
God.
"Hey, can you cover my section?
Yeah.
I'm in the main room in section E. I'll be back.
You're right there, girl. Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
How embarrassing.
And then that was the
That's my first.
And
That's
then the
first.
second was Dice. And then before we get to the third, how did Dice propose?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, we broke up for a while because I don't remember why we broke up. Damn, that's a hard one. But I remember it was like a month, almost a little over a month. And then I was going to move to New York. I was moving to New York. I put first and last down. I had I was ready. I was leaving. Everything was packed. I was moving out. My roommate of 12 years was getting a one bedroom in our building. This was when rent was normal. And so he was getting a one bedroom, and I was all packed up and ready to go. And I wasn't Andrew wasn't coming to the Comedy Store. He was just leaving me be.
Yeah.
And we weren't seeing each other. And then he came in, and I remember it was one of my last shifts. I was in the belly room, and I'm serving drinks, and it was packed. And I brought 2 drinks up at a time. And then I was like, that's how you make good money up there and get your sales high. Sorry, I'm an excellent waitress. Anyway,
There you are. Nice.
so I forgot a Corona, and I came running down, and he was in the kitchen of the Comedy Store. And I was like, ugh. And he goes, I want to marry you. And I just looked at him and I was like, I have to bring this Corona upstairs. Like, just so angry. And I went upstairs and I put the Corona down and I went downstairs, like stomping down those steps. And I was like, how dare you come here? And we're in the parking lot, like arguing and
So
yelling.
passionate.
I know, it was crazy. And then he was like, I'll get on one knee. What do I got to do? And I'm like, I don't want to, this isn't working, you know? And then he took me to lunch. I go, let's just put this, we'll talk about it later. I got to finish my shift, you know, because it was packed. And I need the money. And I'm moving to New York.
Yeah.
And so he goes, well, let's go to lunch tomorrow. So the next day we went to lunch in Beverly Hills. And I went to the bathroom. And when I came back, he's sitting there with like the love of my life, Sylvester Stallone. And I go, what? He goes,
wait,
Sly stopped by to say
literally
hi.
Sylvester Stallone was there?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
So this is like the height of Dice's fame that he can get, like...
No, this is 2000, what was this year? 2000.
You go, no, it's long after.
2005? No,
okay, so that's
okay.
But this is it. I mean, he was already a thing
He was
for a long time.
For a long time,
2005, because
okay.
I didn't start stand-up till 2007.
Okay, wow.
But I'm literally like, my heart, you could see it. I'm sure of it. Like a cartoon, you know, because it's Stallone. He knows I love
it's
Stallone.
Philly.
I would write Sly and Eleanor on my books in high school.
That's a
like
sick
grade
move.
school.
You run up and down the museum steps and you're fucking,
We didn't do that. We're not tourists. And I'm kidding.
That was good old Doylestown over there.
But, it was just like rocket, whatever, Stallone. And so I'm like, hi. And Andrew's like, yeah, this is Eleanor. She's going to be my fiance. And he's like, that's great. And I'm like, the two of them, they sound the same. But it was just, I was like, oh, that's so cool that you're here. I literally couldn't get it together. I was like, what is happening? And then he walked away, he was like, good seeing you, Dice, because they're real good friends. He knows all those guys. And so when he walked away, I go, why would you bring the love of my life
to my proposal?
And he goes,
that's not a good move.
He goes, he don't want you. But he was married, whatever.
It's also comic on comic that's acceptable.
Yeah,
no other
like,
man could say that to any other woman, but comic on comic, that's heartwarming.
I wasn't a comic yet, so
but you had
fair.
But you had it in your heart. Yeah.
You had the chutzpah of a comedian already.
Yeah. So he, whatever, but it was just funny. And then we went to Vegas, and then we got back together. Whatever, and I said yes. Bought me a ring, gave me because I go, there's no ring, I'm like, there's usually a ring, right?
Yeah, usually a ring.
Not a Sylvester Stallone, but a ring. Yeah,
I'll take Sly as a ring. Yeah. Right here, buddy. Wrong finger. No, but it's just and then we went to Vegas. We got engaged, and I remember when I went back to his house. And we picked the kids up for school, and his son Dylan came flying, yes! Aww. And he jumped and
oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, we're all still really close to this day.
That's so sweet.
That's what I love about them. You know, the boys was. We always say that the boys is why it was hard to leave.
Yeah. Damn. And then engagement number 3.
That was just, we were a wild pair. We were together for 5 years. He was great. I'd still be with him.
You have a fun life,
Giant cock. And
how giant?
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
I didn't really get out a stick, but like a measuring stick.
Right.
Put it here.
Yeah.
But it was just, and we were just wild together. And this is the weird part. This is where it gets real white trashy, if you will. Dice had met a girl. And they got married, and she was awesome. And I started dating her uncle.
Oh,
and this was
that's so weird.
Uncle.
Can't get away from each other
for years. When I started doing stand up and I started touring with Andrew, he was like, she's dating my uncle. It's so funny. But he was younger than Andrew. It was just weird. We were closer in age. They grew up in LA. There was a lot of kids, and then the girls had kids in high school.
Yeah.
So what did this guy do? The uncle, what would he do for a living?
That is hard to explain.
Mafia?
He was in jail for 3 years. This is me reverting right back to type.
Yeah.
Where I grew up.
You
love a bad boy. The love of my life.
Bad boy, Eleanor.
Was the love of my life when I was in high school. He went to jail. Right out of high school, he went to jail. And
as you do,
don't waste time.
Or no, I'm sorry. Right as I moved to LA, he went to jail. And I was like, shit. Because I was obsessed with him. And then he didn't like me at all.
Damn.
So, and I knew he was getting into the bad side of shit, but I was still, if I'd see him, I'd be like, yeah, I could change him.
Yeah.
He's not gay. This is easy.
Yeah. He's not gay. He's just a bad person.
Right. Really bad person, by the way.
Workable.
By the way, like if you Googled him, you'd be like, holy shit.
Like murderer?
None of my business.
Okay, got it. Got it.
So
Copy
funny.
that.
So I was in love. My mom thought I made him up.
Why?
Until she saw him on the news getting arrested. And she goes, oh my God, that's a real person?
It's a knight in shining armor.
What did you think that was?
Moms always underestimate us. I had been working with the guy who was the Chelsea rapist. I don't know if you remember that story from years ago. And my mom also was doubting me. And then I also saw him on the news and I said, that's him.
That's the guy.
And she was like, oh, you weren't fucking with me. And I was like, I'm honest.
Yeah.
This guy, when he went to jail, I didn't know what he went to jail for. So I immediately wrote him and sent him pictures because now I got him.
Sent him pictures.
But at this
of
point,
you?
Yeah. In
Like
a
headshot?
Halloween costume. No, because Pauly Shore had this party and we did this whole like Playmates thing.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah.
It was all these, and I was like, I'm going to send them those pictures.
This is such a me move, writing someone in prison. Yeah. Yeah.
So I get
When you take it out.
I get engaged to my first
Yeah.
ex-fiance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he wrote back, and I had my mail sent to this house because I moved in with my ex.
Yeah.
And Billy calls me, he goes, I think we just got a letter from prison. I'm like, don't touch that.
It's confidential.
Wow.
Did you ever have to explain it to him or no?
No, I said, it's a friend of mine I grew up with.
It's a Philly thing.
I said, just don't worry about it. Because I had
a
a girl, two of my best friends are doing life in prison. So two of my close friends, they're not the besties, whatever.
Well, yeah, you can't. Wait.
They're not
Female?
the best.
Female?
Yeah, one female, one male.
What? For what?
That's, I don't know.
It's none of our business.
Again, the one kid,
Can't say.
the one has been in and out. But the
Life.
girl, she was, I mean, we would get arrested but never charged. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you guys not go
That's
to,
like a
I never had
sitcom,
a-
arrested but never charged.
Never had a run-in.
I don't have any felonies. Does that make
Nice.
sense?
I
But
love
I've
that for you.
gotten- Yeah, like I've gotten locked up and been put in a cop car.
Yeah. Whoa.
And then like my friend's mom would have to come get me because if I told my mom, it would just be
Yeah.
Lights out.
She's
she
done
just-
enough. She's
Yeah,
done enough.
she's like, this kid's going to her father. We don't want that.
You don't want to eat pizza every day.
Not that he would want me. But are we okay? I can
Oh, no,
see
he
the
just gave me
eye.
the 10-minute warning. That's all. That's
Got
all.
it. I like it. Yeah, he's been leaning over. I'm afraid he's gonna fall down.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
I
oh, no.
can't see.
He's like, excuse me. But yeah, so and then so I forget where we were.
The
but
third
I
guy
guess.
was the uncle of
yeah.
Dice's
Ex-wife.
partner. Yeah,
I mean, he's still her uncle.
yeah.
So
And you guys had a wild time.
we did. We were wild. It was
What does
just
that
like
mean?
reverting
Like-
back to type. Like we were just. It was sex constant. It was just pure lust, if you will.
Yeah.
And he was a great guy, but he would get jealous. And I think he was using a little bit. So I was like, I can't go down this
Just a
fucking
little.
road again.
Yeah.
Just a touch.
Okay, maybe a lot.
Right.
Yeah, no one really ever uses
It's
the little.
none of my
The word
business,
using
but-
is usually never implied for like dabbling.
Yeah,
in something.
yeah. He was in prison for 3 years, and I said, "Why were you in prison?" He goes, "Stuff."
Oh.
I was
okay.
like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
exactly what I wanted to marry."
Right,
And-
right.
How'd he propose?
No, we were just in Vegas. He's like, let's go get married. Like, and then he was like, we're doing it. We're getting married. So it was never like a full proposal, but I always say we were kind of engaged because we were close. It was a couple times like we were pulling up.
Right.
Wow.
And then
get-
you just stopped.
Why'd you turn
'cause-
around?
And then I was like, oh, they're going to kill me. My family will kill. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're-
I'm like, my
you're
family
fine.
will kill me.
Yeah.
If I don't tell them, they'll just kill me. It's something must have been in there going, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. girl.
Okay.
Something must have been.
What was that breakup like? With a lusty
that
relationship
was a
or
good
breakups?
one.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. But he had pissed me off to the point of I'm very Irish and
Okay.
stubborn. And if I don't like you, I will just shut the fuck down and you don't exist.
Yeah.
There's, Bobby Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very
Okay,
well.
so we fought a lot when I was waiting tables. And then he pissed me off and I shut him down like he didn't exist.
Yeah.
And he would like scurry around me. And it was just like, he goes, it was unbelievable. The
Wow.
feeling that you could give some, because now we mended our 17-year battle.
Nice.
Wow.
It can happen.
But I will. It's like you're not even there.
Yeah.
And so
Impressive.
This guy got me so pissed off, and it was I was doing the Kid Rock cruise. The night I've never been on a cruise.
We're gonna need some more details on that in a moment.
Fun life, Eleanor.
No,
We're gonna put a pin in that.
Kid Rock cruise.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that in a second.
Finish this and then we'll go back to the
Yeah.
Well, no, this is where the breakup is.
on the Kid Rock.
So
cruise. You broke up on the Kid Rock cruise?
So we're on the Kid Rock
Stop.
cruise. But I've never been on a cruise. I've never been on a
First one,
maybe
might as well
on
be
a
Kid
boat.
Rock.
Yeah. So I'm like a nervous wreck. The night before, I say to him, just, come out. He don't have a license. He lives in LA, grew up in LA, doesn't have a license.
Okay.
Again, none of my business. So he takes it Uber. I go take it Uber, or, his neighbor would drive him. I'm calling him. He's nowhere to be found. I got a spot at the Comedy Store, and my fucking bags are packed, and I'm a nervous wreck. He's not answering. So then he finally calls me like an hour and a half later, maybe 2 hours later, and he's like, I'm at your building. I'm like, then stay in the fucking alley, because I just got bumped by Seinfeld, and now I gotta fucking wait till he gets off. So and he goes, you gotta come get me. I'm not standing in the alley. I go, stand in the fucking alley. You're a big boy.
Yeah.
I lose it,
Yeah.
So I do my spot. I go back. He's pissed because the alley, it's dangerous. So
Whatever.
like, whatever.
You got your own things,
man.
to do.
Fuck him. And so I go back, and we go in, and I'm fucking pissed. I'm shut down.
Yeah.
But I got no choice. I got a plane ticket.
Yeah.
He's on the boat. I already put it in the thing. I was so angry when I got on the boat. I was like, I'm canceling this gig. I'm getting off. I'm just going to get off. I go, you got to get out of this fucking room, because I will throw you overboard.
Yeah.
So he left, and I go, I'm sorry. My anger is at an all-time high. He went upstairs, got all my credentials. He says, oh, Eleanor's not feeling good. She's downstairs. She's, got all my shit, came down, bought me like food. I fell asleep. The boat had left, because sometimes when I'm so angry, I'll just go to sleep.
Yeah.
So the boat goes out. So I don't even know how Kid Rock booked me. I have no idea. I got a fucking email. I have no idea. He saw me on Showtime.
Oh.
And booked me.
So personally booked by
Personally.
Kid Rock.
Yeah.
You were hand selected by Kid
So
Rock.
now I'm like, that's awesome. And me and Kid Rock are hitting it off, and I'm getting better. I'm calming down. I'm calming down.
Yeah.
So we do the whole cruise, right? We get off, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, I'm done with this fucking guy. In fact, I remember we had sex, and I was like, he goes, hey, this doesn't feel, you're not even into this. I go, I'm not, just hurry.
Oh,
And he's like,
my
I'll
heart.
go jerk off in the bathroom. I go, fine with me. Like, I'm done. And
Yeah.
I never want this person near me again.
Yeah.
So we go to Miami Airport. This guy doesn't fly a lot. Like, he might go to Mexico and back to LA. That's it. And that's a drive. That's not a fly. So we're in the Miami airport. I take him. I go, this is your flight. Get on. And I went like this, pound it. And I
You fist
never
bumped it.
saw him again.
Fist bumped your fiance.
He
Hot.
would call me constantly, but physically I never. He's like, we need to see each other. We got to talk this out. We got to figure this out.
nothing to talk out.
Absolutely not.
That's
I
your
told
bumped it.
you.
That's your rules, motherfucker.
I told you, if you shut me down, you will never see me again.
Wow. Respect.
Yeah, and I get so angry. But
Yeah,
Kid
yeah.
Rock was like, oh, what happened to your boyfriend? I'm like, fuck him.
Ex-boyfriend.
He would have been dead. But he thought I was fucking Kid Rock. He thought I was fucking this other guy in the band, because they were so nice to me, and they would all come to the shows. They were like, you got to see this girl. She's crazy. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment, but they would all come to the shows. The shows were packed. I was like, this is
fan,
great.
big
There's only
fan.
one comic on the ship.
Just you?
Yeah, I did
Are
it
you
2
serious?
years.
That's
It's all bands and one
incredible.
comic.
Only comic on a
That's
Kid Rock cruise.
incredible.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Well, maybe he did like you.
You just redeemed
great.
Kid
Yeah,
Rock in my heart.
Oh
yeah.
no, he's incredible.
Yeah.
He just brought me back to Nashville.
Doesn't he live in the Poconos?
2 years ago.
Does he have like a lake house in the Poconos?
He might.
I'm pretty sure, like,
he's
I'm not gonna
wealthy,
say the lake, but yeah.
he might, but he's in Nashville. I know that.
Oh, okay.
Because he brought
Okay.
me back to Nashville for the festival. We did a big show at the Ryman.
Oh,
That's
cool.
awesome.
It was great.
That's so
That
cool.
was a couple years ago.
Wow.
2 years ago, something like that. Yeah. So we still keep in touch, My friend called me. He goes, "Hey, Kid Rock was on Joe Rogan. He mentioned you."
He loves you.
He was just saying that he has comics on his cruise, so he said my name. He wasn't like,
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's my
very cool.
bestie,
You
know?
were the only comic on his cruise that one
Well,
year.
no, but he only had one comic, but he would switch them up.
Okay.
I forget who. Chris,
it was a rotating one
Chris
comic.
Porter did it for a while.
okay, yeah.
So
Nice.
he has like comics that he picks, but I
Nice.
guess I was the only chick.
Yeah.
So that was
Sick.
cool.
You should just play that clip of him saying that before you go on stage when you're on the road.
Well-
Just keep on a loop. I would just keep playing it. I love it. That's
This
great.
is great.
It's really
I already
cool.
thought you were really cool, but now you're
Now
like
I'm sick, right?
No,
No, I'm
you're
kidding.
so like
well, sick with the way the
so
kids say it.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
sick, Eleanor.
You have a very interesting, like, so do you ever feel like, do you have any interest in like, well, first of all, I want to point out, who would have thunk Andrew Dice Clay most stable relationship?
Right?
Yeah.
So my mother said
Wow.
that. My
A lot of
mom
romantic
was like,
gestures, no drug
that is
addiction.
True romantic. He is a hopeless romantic.
wild.
You know what? I believe it because in that the Woody Allen movie Blue, whatever that he was in,
Blue
he's-
Jasmine.
He's
Excellent.
so good in that you're like, for someone to be that good of an actor, there has to be like something
heart.
there.
Sure.
Yeah, I was blown away by his
How about
performance
A
in
Star
that.
Is Born? I still cry
oh
from
my
that.
God, Yeah. right.
And
He
I
was
was
so
on the
good.
set with that. A lot of that got cut out, and he was a little bit upset about it. But I mean, like, because it was so good.
Yeah.
But
Wow,
you
he
could
is good.
see Bradley had so much. You know, it's so hard, the
Yeah.
editing part. So Andrew was like, they should have kept my part. But
No, he's like a great. He should be in more. He's a great actor.
he's still, even with what having to cut,
Yeah.
Scenes shorter, things like that is what I mean. Every
Yeah.
scene he did stayed in the movie, but just got, they have,
Yeah.
you can't have a
Trimmed.
7-hour movie.
Yeah.
So,
gotta kill your babies. Yeah.
right. But even every scene he was in, stolen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stolen. There's a scene where he's putting Bradley Cooper in the shower, and you hear, because he's crushing his daughter's heart. So the anger that he's yelling at him is like the love
Yeah.
for his daughter. Oh, it's so good. I go crazy. from that.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's an excellent actor. But yes, my mom was like, I can't believe you're dating Andrew Dice Clay, the guy who puts a cigarette in his ear. And I go, Mom, it goes all the way around. She goes, I don't give a shit. He's a foul mouth. Like,
Mom, it goes all the way
I don't give a fuck. He's a fucking potty mouth.
yeah. And then she loved him.
Oh, that's great.
She loved him.
Oh, wow.
So he's great. So, because she saw
Wow.
him with his kids.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and he also had a family. The
Yeah.
other two didn't have families.
Yeah.
So he's grounded. He had a grounded.
Yeah, a little more stability.
Yeah.
Just say it. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So are you interested at all in the like of something not a
Engagement
bad
number
boy or can we see that? Can we see
I don't
engagement
know.
number 4?
I gotta.
I want you.
I'm terrible at dating lately. I have no patience.
Well,
Yeah,
that's fine.
good. I would say that's good.
Is
Because
it?
sometimes patience is just you waiting for the inevitable to happen, and you might as well just do it then. You know
When
what
I
mean?
move
Like,
to the villages in Florida, when I get to the age,
Oh my
and I
God,
start
the
shooting up
villages.
heroin,
That could be hot.
it's gonna be my shit down there.
Yeah.
Getting an 80-year-old,
get
huh?
behind that golf cart, baby.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's a great documentary.
Are you dating?
I haven't been for. I was, and then I wasn't. I go on and off.
Yeah, you feel like
I can't. I
Yeah.
have no patience. And
Yeah.
I do take care of my mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see my mom. I don't care about you.
Right.
So are you how many other siblings do take care
Oh,
of you?
they're all
Like,
still there.
They just do shifts
It's just
with your mom,
if
or-
you have that many boys, it's not going to work out. They stink at taking care of anything. And so it's me and my little sister Edie and my sister Karen.
Oh,
Because
nice.
unfortunately we lost my sister Kathleen.
Okay.
But
Okay.
my sister Karen lives like 45 minutes away, and she has grandkids. Like she's on the older half.
Okay.
So me and Edie are the younger
Yeah,
half.
we'll
So
do the
we
shift. Yeah.
and everybody lives up the street or around the corner for the most part, except for 3.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So everybody's right there. So
Yeah.
if God forbid,
Yeah.
But she, like I said, she don't like to get up. And so
mom.
me and Edie got to go like push her out of bed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the boys are like, you coming? They don't.
They don't get it. Damn.
I mean, she goes, I'm going to die up here and they're not going to notice, aren't they? I go, yeah, probably.
It'll be hilarious.
It'll be a couple months. Definitely a couple
haunt 'em
months.
real
Until the
bad.
snow comes down. Yeah.
In a little row home, like, that smell. Same row home we grew up in, she's in.
Wow.
Yeah, she
Wow.
paid her mortgage off. She said this was like, I don't know,
It's probably
10
worth a
years
lot.
ago. And I go, Mom, you should celebrate. That's a big deal. She goes, don't get excited. It took me 53 years to pay the mortgage.
She worked her ass off.
$7,500 she paid for the house. And then she remortgaged it so much that it was in the hundreds of thousands.
Holy.
Or maybe 80,000. Maybe it was up to that. Yeah.
Oh
wow.
my God.
Wow.
Now she can get like 3 something for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a pretty amazing. She's awesome.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
she has an awesome daughter.
Yeah.
She got a bunch of awesome kids.
Yeah. Where can we find more of you? What would you like to promote?
Oh,
do you
my
do
special.
movies?
Special, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called No Country for Old Women.
Love that.
I love that title. That was so
Fucking fantastic.
And it's out on YouTube. It's on the Comedy Store YouTube channel.
Perfect. Okay.
But you could put it just No Country for Old Women or Eleanor Kerrigan. It comes right up. And just check out my Instagram because you need followers to exist.
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I love TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you ever have a chance to see Eleanor live, definitely take
Please,
advantage of
yes,
that if she's in your city.
My website I put the dates up on my website. I think we'll be in Baltimore. I don't know when this comes out, but
A couple weeks, like about a month.
okay,
Or
there you
maybe,
go.
Or, yeah.
Well, nice. Okay.
Whenever.
Good.
We'll figure it out.
Whenever it comes out, it comes out. That's good. It's
Soonish.
just another hit, you know?
Yeah, get
You
another wave.
stagger them out.
Yeah. I know that's the good thing about YouTube because you can keep it going for a long time. Like
Yes.
for like a year after, you can keep getting those hits.
It's great. Yeah. And I just did Rogan, and he's back on YouTube. So
That's great.
nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
going to
so
give you
that's
such
good.
a bump. That's going to
It's a
give you
great
such-
little- it's
between
been a
that and the
great
Kid
little
Rock. I mean, damn.
Kid, what's up, buddy? He knows he's my boy. It's my favorite person.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
It was
Fantastic.
a blast.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks. This has been Guys We Fucked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday.